interesting potential news for you here. A particular monopoly that we have become rather acquainted with recently, which is that of Ticketmaster, which merged a while back, a few years back, with Live Nation, and has created this just massive juggernaut, which is basically a scam, massive fees, escalating ticket prices, artists getting squeezed, venues getting squeezed, et cetera. Well, there is a new effort to unwind that merger between Ticketmaster and what was previously, one of their potential rivals, Live Nation. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. This is actually an effort from our friend Matt Stoller's group, the American Economic Liberties Project. Go ahead and here we go, Hollywood Reporter up on the screen. Activist group asked the Justice Department to unwind Live Nation and Ticketmaster merger. The 2010 merger has been subject to scrutiny for allegedly leading to higher ticket prices and claims that Live Nation Entertainment is abusing its market power over venues and artists. A Live Nation representative said that the live events industry has, quote, never been more vibrant and competitive. So basically what happened here is just before they merged, Ticketmaster had the bulk of the ticket sales market, but Live Nation was set to get in the game.
Right.
So they merge, they become this one gigantic company, and it gives them incredible market power. Why? Because if you're a venue and you say like, Ticketmaster, you're screwing me over, I'm going in another direction, what they say is, okay, then fine. All of our artists that we promote as part of Live Nation, they're not going to come to your venue. And so ultimately the venues have no choice. If you're an artist that's going to, perform at that venue, you also have no choice because you're signing the contract. They are with Ticketmaster, and it is what it is. And they are completely screwing over, everybody else involved. Think of the insanity of what a massive percentage of the ticket price they are getting when all they're doing is like running a website. It should be pennies on the dollar, and instead it's this massive chunk.
And they add all those fees for like online delivery and all this other craziness. We had to deal with this recently. Whenever we do our live tour, you have to sign a contract with the venue gets to sell tickets. By the way, we're the ones selling the tickets, so why don't we have access to our customer data? Oh wait, we have literally I couldn't tell you a single name of a person who came to our live show except for our lifetime members because we refunded their tickets. That's craziness. So we sell the tickets. They don't do anything. We put on the performance. The venue hosts it, but Ticketmaster gets the data. And they get to charge our fans and customers an extra fee. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And look, we'll probably get now retaliated against for doing this. I don't really care.
Whatever.
Yeah, come at me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the economics of these shows.
Yeah, right. For this reason.
For exactly this reason, really don't make very much sense. In spite of the fact that, we're lucky to be able to generate a large number of ticket sales.
Doesn't matter.
But it really doesn't matter. This part I didn't even know about. They run a secondary, I'm reading for the article now, ticket market called Ticketmaster Resale, where they charge a second, more lucrative fee in addition to the fee that was assessed on the primary ticket market. So what they basically like to do is to allow scalpers to buy up almost, a majority of the tickets on the original sale. Then they resell them on this secondary ticket market where Ticketmaster gets to charge another even higher fee. So they're making another cut. And that's the only way that a lot of fans can actually get tickets. So the whole thing is completely disgusting. I mean, again, it's like you dig into any segment of the economy or the market and you find these cartels and collusion and massive monopolies, things that were allowed through under both the Obama and the Trump administration. I think this was actually an Obama era deal that put these two companies together and allowed this to go through. And what the American Economic Liberties Project is saying is, when this deal was struck that said, okay, you can merge, there were actually some specific provisions to make sure that it remained a competitive marketplace. Their argument is that they are violating the terms of that settlement by forcing venues to accept their ticketing services as a condition for hosting Live Nation performers and then retaliating against those that refuse. So that's basically the argument here is you're not even following by the rules that you were supposed to in order to allow this merger to go through. So the answer is to unwind the merger.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's totally nuts. And look, we need to... 2 companies is bad. I mean, we need a ton more.
Right.
I think it was on Andrew Schultz's podcast. Louis C.K. gave a whole breakdown about how he tried to go around the monopoly, and he was at the top of his game, and even he found it very, very difficult. I recommend people go and listen to that because, look, these people have a tremendous power over entertainment. I tried to buy tickets for Blink-182. or their new tour that's coming. It's an outrageous amount of money and a huge. So look, no, obviously Blink-182 is the last time, I think. It's a nostalgia tour, so the tickets are going to be high priced. But even with the pre-sale and all that, like a third of the fee was Ticketmaster fees. It's just completely insane. And look, people like me who love the band are like, okay, like you just have to pay it. You have no choice. And if you had to guess, the artists themselves, they don't like it this way.
Oh, no.
They just have no other option.
There's no other option.
It's the only way for them to make a living.
Bruce Springsteen, at the time that this merger was being considered, he wrote a letter and said, this is going to be is going to be terrible. It's going to be a disaster. And just recently, I don't know if you saw this in the news, Ticketmaster has this new, they call it dynamic pricing, which is just basically like, we can gouge you as much as we possibly can, because like if there's a high demand for the tickets, we're just going to keep upping the price, upping the price, upping the price to squeeze every less penny out of the fans. And this happened with Bruce Springsteen, where they were getting charged like $5,000 or whatever, and he was stunned by what was ultimately going on, because people, of course, were disgusted that that in their view he was charging these ticket prices. So anyway, it is unconscionable that this monopoly is allowed to continue. And the Biden administration has taken a much different approach on monopoly. They've been much better than previous administrations. Not saying they're perfect, but they brought in some seriously forceful people who have a very different ideological predisposition towards antitrust regulation. And so hopefully this is one that they will ultimately take a look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Love y'all. See you soon. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.